What's up, sports bettors? So we're going to be talking about DFS strategy, PrizePicks Flex plays, long story short, how to make money, right? So today, on Fridays, PrizePicks increases the payout of a 5-pick flex if you go 5 of 5. So if you win 5 out of 5 legs, your payout increases from 10 times to 15 times. So we're going to go through the math, and I'm going to show you an extremely profitable 5-pick flex that you can go with for today with this awesome, promo. And again, we have no affiliation with PrizePicks. At OddsJam, we don't, work with them, whatever. Like, this simply is how to make money playing DFS and talking about DFS strategies and things that I actually bet. So let's go ahead and let's get into it. So, kind of as a sharp bettor, what you'll realize about PrizePicks, which makes the platform pretty interesting, is they don't vary payouts depending on if you select the over or the under, right? We switch this to an under, 20 to win 60. Over, 20 to win 60. We switch the pitcher, 20 to win 60. Overs, unders, whatever, 20 to win 60. You're always getting the same thing. So even though there's no odds on PrizePicks, it's not like a sports book like FanDuel, there's no odds. It is basically just a parlay platform, right? They just offer you fixed payouts on parlays. And for a 5-pick flex play, on Fridays, what they do is what you'll see right here is you're essentially getting, if you go 5 for 5, you're getting 15 times your money, right? So you're betting $100 to win $1,500, but that's not $1,500 in profit. That's $1,400 in profit plus your $100 stake back. So it's actually a little misleading, right? It's pretty misleading, honestly, because it's not 100 to win 1,500 in profit. It's 100 to win 1,400 in profit plus your $100 stake back. So that's your total payout. Now, if you miss one leg, you still win $100. You get 200 back. So it's 100 to win 100 in profit, right? And then if you go 3 of 5, you lose $60, right? You get back 40, so you actually lose money. You lose $60. So what we're going to be going through is just my favorite picks that I have on kind of for today, and we're going to be using OddsJam. So OddsJam is, an amazing platform, and the reason it is because there's no BS, right? All it is data. So for example, in the 49ers-Panthers game, one of the first props I took a look at is Brandon Ayuk over 3.5 receptions, right? So OddsJam, you can browse odds completely for free, 100% for free from any sport, any market too, right? You can look at player receptions, touchdowns, rushing yards, whatever. And you may be like, well, why browse odds? If you actually want to make money sports betting ever, or, you want to make money playing on PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, Thrive Fantasy, any of these DFS platforms, you have to look for value, right? Like, if you're placing bets at minus 123 on George Kittle over 3.5 receptions, right here, minus 123, when other sportsbooks are offering plus 105, DraftKings right here, you're screwed, right? You're never going to make money sports betting if that's your strategy, right? If you're placing bets at minus 123 when other sportsbooks are offering plus 105. So you should always be browsing odds, right? Even if this sportsbook isn't in your state, this one offering plus 105, it should make it clear that you're getting a rip-off price if you're taking it minus 137 on Underdog Fantasy in your DFS entry, right? Or you're playing it minus 123 on Pinnacle. So essentially, this platform's really useful for spotting value, right? So what we notice is for Brandon Ayuk, it's like, wow, all the sports books have his over 3.5 receptions heavily juiced. Caesars has it all the way up at minus 189, almost a 2-to-1 favorite, right? Bet Online, a very sharp sports book, minus 154. Pinnacle is the sharpest bookmaker in the world, and they're pricing this at minus 166. So being able to get over 3.5 receptions seems pretty good in a PrizePicks Flex play. So that's the first play I went with. Then we had J.P. Crawford. See, then there's a bunch of other picks we can kind of talk about. But long story short, I ended up going with, this as my first pick. So basically, based on the odds in the sports betting market, you can imply the win probability for a bet. So that's called no vig odds, right? The more juiced the sportsbooks have the over, the more likely it is to occur, right? Like obviously if Pinnacle, changed their market to minus 220 over 3.5 receptions, plus 160 under 3.5, the over is now minus 220. Bet 220 to win 100 in profit. So the over would be more juiced. So there would be even more value on PrizePicks. And that's because Pinnacle would think the over is more likely to occur, right? When they're pricing the over 3.5 receptions at minus 166 and the under is plus 123, they think the over is 58.19% to occur. That is what their model is implying. And then they back out their market, right? So you can essentially use this calculator and put in a sportsbook's market, both the over and the under, to see what is the win probability for the over, and the under. So obviously if the under was juiced, if it was minus 166 plus 123 the other way, then the over would only be 41.8% to occur. So essentially when we're playing on PrizePicks, because they're not varying your payouts, depending on if you select the overs or the unders, you want to look for bets where the over is heavily juiced, right? If you're playing the over. And you want to avoid the under. We definitely don't want to take the under for Brandon Ayuk, receptions, because all the sportsbooks have the over extremely juiced. Even if you think you're the smartest sports bettor in the world, it wouldn't make sense as a part of any DFS strategy, right? Like it would never make sense to play under 3.5 in your PrizePicks or underdog entry. Why? Because Caesar Sportsbook is giving you plus 136 odds, right? A 2-pick power play on PrizePicks or underdog is 100 to win 200. You could only bet one thing, the under, here, and you would win 136 if it won. So you have to be value conscious as a sports bettor, right? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like there are 5 sports books, 5 data points in the market, all telling you the over should be heavily juiced. The NFL's an efficient betting market. There's millions of dollars bet on it, on every single game. There's probably been millions of dollars bet on this player prop. It's an efficient betting market. Like you have to trust the lines and follow the lines and use that as a source of information when you're trying to find good DFS picks. So we obviously want to go with the over. And we know, we can kind of back out the win probability of our bet with this no vig odds calculator, right? So essentially what I did is I found the top 5 picks from the positive EV tool on OddsJam. And again, this tool basically, it'll just scan the markets, to try to find you value. That's all the positive EV tool does for you, is it shows you these line discrepancies like, hey, where do sportsbooks have an over heavily juiced? And you can get it on PrizePicks or Underdog Fantasy, right? So you can see this Hayden Hurst bet, it actually just moved, right? Underdog Fantasy had it, and all the sportsbooks have the over extremely juiced, but they just moved it. The odds of this bet have changed. So next we had a few baseball plays, which you can see right here. So once again, it's like the same concept. All the sportsbooks have the over for Cal total bases heavily juiced. We can get it on PrizePicks. The over is a lot more likely because all the sportsbooks have the over heavily juiced, right? So long story short, what I ended up going with is right here on PrizePicks for my 5-pick flex play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3 MLB picks. We have Cal Raleigh over half of a base, JP Crawford over half of a base. So both of these Mariners to get on base. And actually both of these should be a little correlated, right? And then I have Brandon over 3.5 receptions, and this gets a lot more interesting after this. Cooper Kupp under 8.5 receptions, and Christian Watson under 2 receptions. Now, where did I find this Christian Watson pick? Because I didn't find it here, right? So you need 5 picks in a flex play. Obviously, the Brandon one is best. The profit margin is the highest, but still, there were some other ones that were good. So I would have played all of them, but unfortunately you can't play 3 batters from the same team on PrizePicks. So I couldn't play Mitch Haniger over half of a base. So I had to use Cooper Kupp. But essentially what I did is I went to this OddsJam screen, and what you'll notice is Christian Watson, it looks like Thrive actually moved it, was over 1.5 receptions. So Thrive Fantasy, I played Christian Watson over 1.5 receptions. And then I played the under 2 on PrizePicks. That's a big jump, right? Christian Watson, 1.5 versus 2 receptions. You're either pushing or winning at 2 is a big deal. Same with this Randall Cobb bet, right? That seems pretty good. So we want to look for value on PrizePicks. And essentially, like, I just noticed, hey, PrizePicks has the line, right, at 2. Every sportsbook has it at 1.5. Granted, slightly juiced towards the over. So I'll take the over on Underdog Fantasy, which has the least juice out of any fantasy company. Thrive Fantasy has the lowest juice, lower juice than Underdog, PrizePicks, Underdog Fantasy, PrizePicks. It's a great platform. And you'll see we've absolutely been destroying them. I mean, we've crushed them, especially on baseball. During the last days of the regular season, when I first found this platform, we've absolutely been crushing them. And I know a lot of people were able to tail these, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. But, essentially that's pretty cool about PrizePicks. So what I ended up going with is, again, right here, I backed out roughly what the profit margin of this is, which I think is $35.25 for an $100 flex play. And of course, it's a promo too. They're boosting the payout from 100 to 1,500 as opposed from 100 to 1,000 if you win every leg. But you have to remember, for a 5-pick power play on Underdog Fantasy or on Thrive, like if we just go to the prop lobby, you're only getting, 20.5 times your entry. Whereas on PrizePicks for this flex play, we're getting 15 times. And if we win 4, we're still getting plus 100 odds. And if we win 3, we don't lose everything. So this is a great promo every Friday on PrizePicks. Definitely take advantage of it. One of the only good things about PrizePicks, definitely sign up for Thrive and Underdog. I put links below, but they just offer better payouts, so definitely a book. You should get more books than just PrizePicks. Let's just say that to say the least, because PrizePicks generally has very bad prices. They offer terrible prices, lower payouts than everyone. But on Fridays with this Flex Play promo, they offer great prices. So we got to take advantage of it, and here's what I ended up going with. So let me know your thoughts. Let's make some money, guys.